Hello everybody! Welcome back to the Final Fantasy X HD Remaster. So we're starting out in Kilika, and I'm going to do just a little bit of sphere grid, I guess, yeah, just like leveling up. I know in the previous video there I had mentioned that we were kind of starved for ability spheres, and that's probably obvious right there because Yuna's basically has had to stop, dead in her tracks because she can't learn any of her abilities, and so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to go past the spot that she's at. But here, what I'm doing is I've got two ability spheres from that previous battle, and so I activated I think that was silence attack on Waka. Jeez, and so I'm actually gonna wait just a little bit until until he's built up a couple of levels, and then I'll actually go grab that ability, or that extract ability sphere, and that'll be the last ability sphere. And you know, I feel like up ahead there even isn't a whole lot for ability spheres. So I think that it was really important to get that specific ability activated so that we could generate more ability spheres. So yeah, so I actually ended up redoing this because I think I messed up there, and I actually used those two ability spheres on Yuna, and then I was like, wait a minute, if I would have just waited and activated that one sphere on Waka, then I'd be set up pretty well. And so yeah, so after I had messed around with the sphere grid there for a little bit, I was like, okay, well, no, we're gonna redo this just to make sure that we're able to progress more and not get stuck waiting on ability spheres. So all right, yeah. So I like that the Aurochs help out around town, right? They're like a yeah, I mean they're a blitzball team, and it's kind of interesting to see a professional team, repairing a town.
What's ascending? Are we going somewhere?
You truly are clueless. Are you sure it's just your memory that's the problem? The dead need guidance. Filled with grief over their own death, they refuse to face their fate. They yearn to live on and resent those still alive. You see, they envy the living. And in time, that envy turns to anger, even hate. Should these souls remain in Spira, they become fiends that prey on the living. Sad, isn't it? The sending takes them to the far plane, where they may rest in peace.
Summoners do this? must be tough, being a summoner.
Yuna chose her own path. She knew from the beginning what it meant. All we can do is protect her along the way, until the end.
Until the end? What's the end?
Until she defeats sin.
Oh.
I hope I did okay.
You did very well. They've reached the far plane by now, but no tears next time. Hmm?
I wished there would never be a next time. No more people being killed by sin. No more sendings for Yuna. Everyone stood there watching her. It was strange, and somehow horrifying. I never wanted to see it again.
Hey, you awake? Captain Walker's waiting for you.
All right. So after you save the little girl here, we're actually able to grab a ether inside the bar, where there's also another Albed primer, which we will not be seeing because that's kind of one thing that's been a little bit annoying actually. I don't like that they're just not there. I wish that the primers were still in the locations, I guess. I guess maybe more for like walkthrough purposes, but again, I'm gonna try to do my best to point out exactly where they're supposed to be. All right, so there's a kind of a hidden chest there with 3 potions in it, so definitely grab that. And then I think I'm gonna head on into the bar and oh, maybe not. I think that was the bar back there. Yeah. So, anyways, I like the scene there, the cut scene with the Yuna doing the sending ceremony, and Titus then saying that he never wanted to have to see that again. Not obviously as a criticism of Yuna, but just that it's the very nature of it means that people have died. So there you have it. So there now we're able to actually open up this chest again. That's the ether inside there, and again on top of the bar there's supposed to be, I think it's Albed primer number 4. I think it is, yes, 4, which again would be on the counter, but since I've already compiled my primer data, it causes those to disappear. Here's the shop, or a shop, which is kind of funny. It's just an old lady with a in front of a treasure chest. Looks like these are the scout weapons. They're sometimes helpful, to be honest, but I don't know who's got them right now, but yeah, I didn't end up buying any more. And then here's a couple of the armor all has the HP plus 5%, which is okay. I don't know. Usually I don't stress the tiny bit of HP that you get out of these things, but yeah, it's there.
Ah, there you are. Ised Aurochs, huddle. On to the temple, where we pray for victory. Go! High Summoner O'Holland used to live in the Kilika temple here. Yep, Lord O'Holland was once a great blitzer, you know.
Waka. Praying for victory's all good. But is this right?
Something wrong with enjoying blitzball?
Is this really the time?
This is the only time. The players fight with all their strength. The fans cheer for their favorite team. They forget pain, suffering. Only the game matters. That's why Blitz has been around for so long. At least that's what I think.
Whatever you say.
Let's play and win, right?
Right.
Temple's beyond the jungle there. Let's go. What's up?
Yuna's saying she wants you with us.
Huh?
I want to ask you to be my guardian.
You know what? There's no time for jokes, yeah? He may be a blitzball whiz kid, but up against fiends, he's a newbie.
Not a guardian, then. I just want him nearby.
What?
What? What do you mean?
It's just that, well,
We're all going to the temple anyway. Can't this wait till later?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have...
There's nothing to be sorry about. I'm just not really sure what's going on.
My apologies.
Okay, so yeah, I'll be honest. I don't know exactly how we're supposed to interpret that scene right there, where Yuna is saying that she wants Titus, kind of to be around her. Again, I don't know if it's kind of has more to do with what Lulu refers to later on, where I think it's the next boat ride where she's speaking with Waka. And says that, because Jekt was Braska's guardian, she, feels some obligation or wants him to do the same thing.
Kimari, why don't you use Lancet on it?
What's a lancet?
Normally, it's a skill that weakens enemies and heals the user. But when a Ronso uses it, that Ronso can sometimes learn Fiend's abilities.
Hey, sounds cool.
Alright, so here's our Lancet tutorial. Yeah, not too complicated stuff here. So basically, Kimari is, the blue mage, in the game. You know, he acts, which is, it's funny, you know, I just came off of playing the Final Fantasy VI Remaster, in which, you know, Strago is the blue mage in that game. But yeah, basically the same thing. And so in order to learn enemy skills, you have to use the Lancet ability, which, you know, functions at least a little bit differently from Final Fantasy VI. And actually even Final Fantasy VII is another game that's, you know, very familiar or similar, which is, you know, the enemy skill materia, where, you know, when the character that's equipped with it has an enemy skill performed on them, the enemy materia learns it, which is kind of an interesting, or was an interesting way, you know, for it to function. But again, here it's just Kimahri that learns it via Lancet. But yeah. So, anyways, back to Yuna there. Again, I'm not really sure how to interpret that, right? If she actually just likes Tidus and thus wants him around, or if it's more, you know, she wants to ask him because, you know, there is an obvious, it seems, link between Jecht and Tidus, and I think, you know, Yuna is fairly, I believe, convinced that Jecht is Tidus's father, and so, you know, again, I don't know if that's her rationale for kind of saying that she wants him around, but I do like that Tidus is just clueless. I think that they did a really good job of, you know, I guess developing Tidus, and the contrast from where he starts out at the beginning of the game, you know, basically just needing help from everybody, and you know, there's a lot of times where they're referring to him as being a crybaby, you know, and not really being able to, I don't know, do things on his own and whatnot. And again, they do such a great job of contrasting, you know, again at the beginning of the game where he's just completely reliant on everybody else for everything, you know, information, you know, battle related, you know, knowledge, and yeah, and so then, you know, towards the end of the game, it's not so much that way, and you know, I feel like he develops really well, and I think that's an important part of, you know, just storytelling in general, like, and liking characters is at least some development, which is also one of the reasons why I think that Kimahri is pretty lame. You know, they do eventually get into it a little bit, but for a great deal of the game, he is just super bland. I mean, he literally doesn't say anything for I don't know, at least a bit of a portion here, and then once he finally does speak, it's very little. So, you know, I don't know. Anyways, if you've noticed here, we've come across some of the Crusaders running through the forest, and I unfortunately didn't interact with them enough, and so I end up kind of backtracking and speaking with them again. But generally, it's one of the Crusaders is, or actually, I think it might be two separate ones, are kind of sending their comrades around, and again, I think we need to speak with them. I'm not sure if it's, you know, male, female, whatever. It's always hard to keep everybody keep track of everyone. But yeah. Anyway, so I end up unfortunately coming back and interacting with them to, I think, get items from them. But also here, so if you've noticed, I've been trying to swap my characters out of battle or in and out of battle frequently, or at least, you know, getting everybody to participate in each battle. And yeah, there's, and then here, yeah, I didn't even notice. Here's the Ochu kind of just standing right in the middle. Normally, I just run north from where we start, and you know, start battle with the Ochu. But this time around, I don't know. I think this was from the backside of it, and I think that Luzu and Gata actually warn us if we come from the south side that, you know, this fiend is here, I guess, and isn't quite like the rest of the fiends in the area. And Ochu is pretty brutal. you know, at the end of the day, not the toughest fight in the world, but you know, significantly more powerful than the rest of the fiends in the area. It is vulnerable to silence. I don't know how important that was. But after it drops down below a certain point, it'll fall asleep. I'm wondering if you can prevent that with silence. I'm not sure though. We'll see. We'll have to see before it, because eventually here it will. It actually does use it once I bring in Valfor. I always forget how to say that thing's name. I'm gonna say Valfor. But all right, so I think I just come in and use Energy Blast right away. That might not have been the best idea. What I really should have done was knock it down a little bit more to about maybe 2,000 or something like that. But yeah, so I just didn't do quite enough. And here he puts himself to sleep. Yeah, he was able to do that even silence, so that doesn't really matter. But yeah, he regains looks like 917 health, and it looked like it was 2 ticks there if you notice. So because Energy Blast, once you use it, it's got a long what would it be? Valfor itself has a long recovery time, I guess I would say. I think that probably makes the most sense. After you use that overdrive. And so unfortunately the Ochu got 2 turns back to back, and since it was put to sleep, you know, it healed up like 1900 health. So almost all of the damage that I did with that overdrive, the Ochu healed back up. And so yeah, so that was a little unfortunate, but that's just kind of how it goes. And I didn't have a real good feel for how much damage this thing was going to do with Energy Blast. So again, I should have just probably done, knocked it down just a bit more and tried to finish it off with Energy Blast. But I think eventually here, after using Sonic Wings a bunch of times, I eventually do get him down. But this is also kind of the strategy with Valfor, and honestly, a lot of the times when I summon it is, just using Sonic Wings to kind of delay the turn of the enemies, and it usually works out really, really well. So this should be it. Also vulnerable to fire, so Lulu will really, or can really do some damage here. But this should be an overkill. There it is, and that is that.
A summoner and her guardians. Very impressive.
Sir, we should fight too.
We'll get our chance soon enough.
Young Crusaders gather around. We'll beat sin into the ground.
Do your best, kid. Waka's counting on you.
Hey! After the tournament, you should join the Crusaders.
Okay, after the Ochu fight, definitely speak with Luzu there, and he will give you the elixir. And then if you notice, we got 2 MP spheres for defeating the Ochu. I kind of wish I would have done it just a little bit differently, but I think it makes sense to give one, or use one on the grid where Waka is at, and then use one with Titus. Just because Titus is gonna get, I think that's haste right there, and unfortunately also, though, I guess I'm in a bad spot because Titus doesn't have any open spots on his grid for a little while. But we're gonna be using haste a lot with Titus, and that takes a bit of MP, and he just doesn't have that much right now. So I think that it would have been a good idea to give one to him. And then same rationale with Waka. Waka does use a little bit of MP, and I kind of felt like he needed more. But all right, I'm out of time. As always, hope the guide was helpful, and hope you join me for more videos. Thanks for watching.